How's it going, everyone? I want to take a look at my top 10 PlayStation game deals for Black Friday 2024 that are available directly on Amazon. So again, these are available on Amazon directly. And a lot of you guys want to do all your shopping kind of like in-house on Amazon. You don't want to go to other platforms. You don't want to go to Walmart. Ain't nobody really trying to sign up for Walmart Plus. I know the deal should be live to everybody right now, but a lot of people want to keep it all on Amazon, have it delivered to their home. Y'all have Amazon Prime, so it's very beneficial as far as that's concerned. So there are going to be some exclusions and some things I do want to note. Again, with Black Friday, deals are coming in and out of stock all the time. So as I am recording this video, 10:36 a.m. Eastern time on November the 26th, these are my top deals so far of what it's available. By the time you guys are watching this video, the editing process and it going live, something might be in stock, something might be out of stock. Spider-Man 2 is another one that's been coming in and out of stock. You know, $30 for Spider-Man 2 is ridiculous in my opinion. I know most of you guys probably picked it up, but if you didn't, 30 bucks for that is tremendous. It was in stock on Amazon for a little bit, not in stock right now. I don't even see it on sale for like $40, which was the initial price. It came in stock for $30 yesterday, and then this morning it was in stock for $30 as well, but it's out of stock as of the recording of this video. That's one that's just gonna come in and out, I would imagine. I do think you're gonna have another opportunity to pick that up, but yeah. A couple things to note as far as specific games. Elden Ring and Armored Core 6 are both not in stock right now. If they were in stock, those two games are legitimately probably the best deals across Black Friday. Like $20 a pop for From Software games is such an abnormal thing to see, and I loved Armored Core 6 and Elden Ring. While it wasn't my cup of tea, those games just generally aren't. Let's be real, the game is absolutely beloved. Stellar Blade is a great game. It's $50 for a 7-month-old game. That's why it's excluded, and you can make the argument, especially with one game that I'm going to mention that's $50, you're going to be like, okay, but you're recommending this game and it's more than 7 months old. But I will give you guys some context with that. But it's still a great game, great deal. Rise of Ronin is in stock on Amazon right now, but it's $40. It was available for $30 earlier. Given that a lower price threshold was available directly on Amazon, that deal isn't available. It could come back. I'm not going to mention that either. And the Cyberpunk deal that we mentioned earlier yesterday, while it was insane, that was definitely an error. If you were able to snag it, kudos to you. You made out like a bandit, but that was definitely a pricing error, so that isn't going to be mentioned. It's available for $40 right now, which is a good deal. Not a great deal, but a good deal for sure. With all that being said, let's go into my top deals. Right off the top, I think this is one of the best deals available. Sonic X Shadow Generations, 40% off for $29.99. I was always down on the $50 price tag for Sonic X Shadow Generations to an extent, but you just knew with Sega annualizing the Sonic titles and them following the same pattern every year, Frontiers coming out, Superstars coming out, and then always being significantly discounted for Black Friday, I was like, okay, it might be $50 at launch, but you wait a month, you wait 4 weeks, and it's gonna see a sizable discount, and here we have it. It's seeing a sizable discount. I think $30 for the game is fantastic. The Shadow campaign is a nice addition, but it is fairly short, so just keep that in mind. Sonic Generations itself is a great game, and it came out in an era where Sonic games were incredibly inconsistent, but Generations was an awesome game. To get both those, 30 bucks, a great deal. Would definitely recommend that, and definitely a solid pickup there. Okay, so next up, I do want to give a mention to Alan Wake 2 Deluxe Edition. I think this is a good deal for $50. And you guys know me, I'm not crazy about Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 isn't this game that I just constantly sing its praises. It's actually a game that didn't resonate with me. However, I have to strip away my own subjective opinion about the game. The majority opinion is that it was second place to Game of the Year behind Baldur's Gate 3. A lot of people had it as Game of the Year. This Deluxe Edition just came out physically, 6 weeks ago or so? You get the DLC, which recently dropped, and it includes Alan Wake Remastered, and it released at $80, so it at $50 is quite good. This is the game I was talking about where it might be seen a little bit hypocritical for me to mention Alan Wake 2 over Stellar Blade, but contextually, you know, there is a little bit of a difference there. Well, Alan Wake 2's Deluxe Edition physically just came out. Now, it should be noted, the digital release of Alan Wake 2's Deluxe Edition is actually cheaper. It's $40, so if you want to pick it up digitally, this is one of the rare instances where the digital copy is cheaper, but I know a lot of you guys want your games physically, and I feel like since the Deluxe Edition just came out physically, it's seeing this sizable of a discount. I think that's worthwhile to mention. So there's the context offered. I liked a lot of aspects about Alan Wake 2. I am planning on doing another playthrough of it here soon, and giving the game another shot. We'll see if it clicks with me more this time around. But $50 for that, a lot of you guys will end up enjoying it, and certainly do play Alan Wake 1 first. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is $50 as well. You guys know me, I'm a sucker for Sparking Zero. I think this game is fantastic. I did see some people point out in the comments section saying, hey, this is a game that is going to get a ton of DLC content. Let me wait for the Ultimate Edition. If you can wait that long, absolutely. We know what Bandai Namco's game is these days with these anime titles and their games in general, fighting games in general. They're gonna get an insane amount of DLC content. However, if you want Sparking Zero for the holidays, I feel like this is a game that, yo, you got family and friends over that you haven't seen in a little bit, but you grew up, you know, watching Dragon Ball together. I feel like that's a situation that's gonna arise quite often during the holidays. You know, Sparking Zero is a good game to pop in and play. Even though only the Hyperbolic Time Chamber is available, I just think this game is great. The single player actually has a little bit of depth to it, and yeah, it's not a sizable discount, but I thought the game was so good, and I get it. There's the criticism with it, and I can go and talk about that for hours and hours, but I still think the game is really solid, and if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you probably already picked it up, but if you didn't, I think $50 is actually a decent pickup given how recent of a release it is. Octopath Traveler 2 is $24.99. I think this is a great deal on a great turn-based JRPG. A lot of people talk about how Square Enix needs to drop more turn-based JRPGs, and I get that, you know, a lot of people want a turn-based Final Fantasy game, a new Final Fantasy turn-based title, but give Octopath Traveler 2 a shot. The HD 2D look with this game looks fantastic. The story is quite good. The characters are likable. For $25, I just think this is a great pickup, and obviously, to me, the HD 2D look is fantastic, so goodbye there. Next up, another JRPG. Granblue Fantasy Relink isn't getting a lot of attention, but I think for $30, this is a great pickup. A game that's held up in price for quite a while, but a game that I also really enjoyed earlier this year. It came out this same week as Persona 3 Reload, and I think just after Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth as well. Just a crazy week of gaming. And yeah, Granblue Fantasy Relink is awesome. You know, narratively, it's not fantastic, and it kind of drops you into the thick of things without a lot of context, but from a gameplay standpoint is where this game really shines. I think it is just so stylish, so slick as far as that's concerned. And soundtrack's good, art style's great. For $30, I think this is an excellent pickup. Would definitely give that a recommendation. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is down to $50. I think this is a good pickup. I was expecting it to get down to the 40 to 45 range, and if it was 45, I would say slam dunk, home run, pick it up. It's a $5 discrepancy, but you know how I am. I'm picky with those dollars. $50 is still a good buy. Obviously, the main point of contention with this game was the length of the campaign. 8 or so hours, but that's around the length of a campaign that you would have for major shooters all the time that have their life extended via the multiplayer component. And Space Marine 2 does have multiplayer in the form of PvE and PvP, and not only that, we know that Saber Interactive is going to be consistent in updating the game and continually dropping content updates. They have a roadmap outlined, so this is a game that's going to have a little bit of longevity attached to it. I feel like from that standpoint, it's well worth it, and I've talked about it before, but a lot of the comments I've seen about the game in terms of positively is that this is a throwback to the days of Xbox 360 shooters, and I totally agree with that. The essence, the core of the game is so reminiscent of an older era in gaming, and I say that in the best way possible because while that essence rings true, from a technical standpoint, a visual standpoint, it very much looks like a 2024 title, so it's a marriage of a lot of things. For $50, again, it's pricey, but the game was so good, and came out in early September, so still relatively recent, and I would say it's well worth a pickup. A couple Final Fantasy titles. Wanna Bacon Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for $40, and then also Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. I think for $20, that's a great buy as well. Obviously, FF7 Rebirth is the big budget second part to the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy that came out earlier this year. Do play FF7 Remake, but if you have yet to pick up Rebirth for whatever reason, definitely do jump on this. Rebirth is an excellent, excellent game. You know, it does have its shortcomings. I think some of the side content is a little bit mid, and, you know, side quests and whatnot, but the main story, the combat, the soundtrack, those elements are so strong, and the good heavily outweighs the bad in FF7 Rebirth. No question. And this is a legitimate contender for Game of the Year, and it may end up winning Game of the Year. Was it my Game of the Year? I think it's 1A, 1B right now, alongside another game I'll mention in a little bit. I've said it quite often, but $40 for FF7 Rebirth is great. And don't sleep on Crisis Core. Like, Crisis Core came out at $50, and a lot of people picked it up at $50 because, you know, Crisis Core, it's FF7, it's one of the FF7 compilation games, and Zack is a fairly liked character, and people just wanted Crisis Core really badly. But at the end of the day, a PSP game upgraded for $50 is a stretch. $20, okay, we're cooking. And Zack's story is something you should absolutely know now that we're, you know, not to give any spoilers or anything like that, but, you know, Zack's story going forward with Final Fantasy VII is just something you should be aware of. And I would say, you know, ideally you should play Crisis Core before you play Rebirth. I think it would be good that you know Zack's story prior to Rebirth. I just think that's the ideal way to go. And there's a reason why Crisis Core Reunion came out in December of 2022 ahead of Rebirth. I think that was done very strategically, but that's my 2 cents on that. $20 for that is quite good. Another JRPG, Metaphor ReFantazio for $50. Yes, not a steep discount, but this is another game that just came out and is a legit Game of the Year contender. From that standpoint, it's also a game that offers 80 plus hours of content, maybe well over that. It's well worth it. A legitimate Game of the Year contender. It's coming from the people that brought you Persona. It's a tremendous RPG. The art style is great. The combat is quite good, and soundtrack is phenomenal as well. So $50 for that is well worth a mention as well. Definitely worthwhile to check that out. Persona 3 Reload, might as well mention that as well. $25 on that is tremendous. Definitely a great deal. A ground-up remake of Persona 3, a game that was beloved back in the PlayStation 2 days. Beloved once again with this remake, and instead of $70, paying $25 is a steal. And while you don't get the DLC, this is such a sizable discount that I'm inclined to recommend it. But keep in mind, if you don't plan on playing Reload anytime in the near future, at some point you would have to think that Atlas is going to drop like a complete edition, and then maybe next year, the year after that, it'll be discounted to $20, and you'll be kicking yourself if you pick up Reload and just stock it for a year or two. But that's my 2 cents on that. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, $19 for that is just insane. I've been vocal and critical about the PlayStation Store pricing this game at $48 recently, which is just insanity. This is one of the glaring examples of just digital gaming just sometimes being an absolute scam. And there's other instances, Sonic X Shadow Generations being $37.50, Persona 3 Reload only having the Deluxe Edition on sale for $40 is absolute whack nonsense as far as that's concerned. But MGS 1, 2, and 3, $19 for that is great. These games are absolutely iconic, and while the collection did have issues, it's still 3 of the most iconic games ever. Literally ever. That's not a stretch, that's not hyperbole. That the first 3 Metal Gear games are just beloved, especially Snake Eater, hence why that game is getting a full-on remake. But I would love a full remake for MGS 1 as well. I understand why that would be a little bit more difficult to do, but you know, it is what it is. $19 for the Master Collection, just a fantastic deal. Definitely check that out. And then lastly, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. This was a part of the 1A, 1B for me for Game of the Year. As somebody that's played the Yakuza games, this game is such a love letter to people that are familiar with Kiryu's story, and also being a direct sequel to Yakuza Like a Dragon. Ichiban is one of the most likable characters in all of gaming. Like, literally, he is that great of a character. And really, just him as a character can teach you a lot of life lessons. Like, it's never too late to do anything. Not to go down on a rabbit hole as far as that. I just plan on doing a replay of Yakuza Like a Dragon, hopefully sometime in the near future, but yeah, the game is just great, and narratively, I don't think Infinite Wealth is as strong as Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's still really, really good, and the content is just so vast. There's so much depth to it, and they've got a full-on, you know, Animal Crossing style island gimmick going on for the game, which a lot of people got into. Dodongo Island, I didn't get super into that, but that's a significant element of the game that you could sink just a ton of time into, and that's completely separate from all the other content in the game. There's just an absurd amount of content, but you can pick and choose what to do. If you just want to go through the main story, you can do that as well. For $25, it's a great pickup, and I would definitely give it a shot. Awesome soundtrack here as well. Definitely worth a pickup there. But that'll do it for me. Again, a ton of great deals available right now. Amazon Black Friday, links to all of these in the description box below. If you decide to pick anything up, we do get an affiliate kickback, which is much appreciated. And again, as of the recording of this video, I'm wrapping up recording at 10:50 a.m. Eastern time. All of these are in stock. And, you know, things are coming in and out of stock, so keep that in mind. So that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.